back with more here at the Developer Innovation Day. I'm Am Grabelny, your host for the day, alongside the wonderful Farrah Campbell.
Hello.
We are so excited to be here with you, and we've got more content. We've got content all day, but most importantly, our guest here, Michael. Please tell the people about yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, and thanks for having me. Farrah, good to see you again.
You too.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael Liendo. I'm a senior developer advocate over on AWS AppSync. It's what we're going to be speaking on today, but in particular, we have a pretty in-depth, much awaited episode where we're going to be talking about building a SaaS application with AWS. Working with Next.js and Amplify, as you've already been seeing throughout the day from Rashida, Mike, and others. It's gonna be a great time.
That's pretty cool. SaaS. Yeah. We got a bunch of SaaS stuff here at AWS. We got SaaS Factory.
Right.
Gunnar Grosh has a show around building SaaS stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
cool
the big theme around this is type safety. We want to build out type-safe applications using Next.js familiar tooling so that front-end developers also can feel confident in building in the cloud. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So speaking a little bit about the agenda, right? Modern full-stack application development. What does that look like? What do things look like when we go beyond a to-do application? When we start to put something together real world, something that involves making money, things of that nature.
I like making money.
I think everybody likes making money.
Yeah. I'm in already.
Perfect. So let's dive into full-stack application development, okay? SaaS developers, let's just be real. You kind of have to do a lot. You have to be agile. You have to deliver this beautiful looking landing page. You have to make sure that your application is production ready because everything fails all the time and we need to handle those things gracefully. So when we translate that over to web development, we're looking at Next.js. Less boilerplate code, front-end developers love it. It's easy to get started with, and then we can build for the web and then also target mobile with our backend as we sort of iterate on this.
Nice.
Definitely. Now, I don't want to go too high, so let's kind of level set a little bit. Okay? When we talk about a SaaS application, it can mean a lot of things. So I'm going to be niching it down and talking about a micro SaaS. So what that means is that we're really looking to get into that $5,000 to $10,000 MRR, that monthly recurring revenue.
Okay.
Now, for some, I mean, for me, that's a great thing to get to, right?
Yeah.
But this is going to be popular in the sort of budding startup community, indie hacker community. A lot of folks like this as a beginner way to get started into sort of profiting for themselves. So I'm only going to touch on this slide for a little bit, but this is really what we're going to be diving into today. These are going to be the services that we're talking about, how we're stitching everything together, all underneath the AWS cloud.
Yeah.
And then we have AppSync sitting right there in the middle between our front end and our back end services. We'll come back to this slide in just a moment.
Okay.
So I've been talking a little bit about front end development. And this is AWS, which is traditionally not where front end development goes to, sort of top of mind.
It's true.
But with the advent of the AWS CDK and Amplify, as we just saw, we can deliver stunning applications that allow us to encapsulate data, write our applications in TypeScript, fall back to CloudFormation as we gain more familiarity, and then easily version this stuff in GitHub, code commit, whatever tooling that we're most comfortable with.
I'm loving the call out to TypeScript, by the way, Michael, because type is life, as we all know.
Type is life.
Type is life. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to derail you too much, but why do you, in particular, advocate for TypeScript here?
Well, it's not only popular amongst the community, but as we've developed applications, I guess, for the past couple of decades in JavaScript, I'm dating myself.
I was just talking Backbone.js in chat.
So I've been developing in JavaScript for years. I'm comfortable with it, but the fact of the matter is I've gotten to a point where I'm avoiding errors only because I've come across them so many times that I just know what to do now. But with TypeScript, it handholds me. And so that way, if I need to bring on someone else to offload some of the work that I'm doing, they have a better onboarding experience. Now, we can use Amplify CodeGen to create these typings for us, which is something that we'll see later on in the demo. But TypeScript has become near and dear to my heart, and I'm glad to see that the front-end developer space, in conjunction with the AWS CDK, is really embracing that mentality.
I love it too. I'm with you.
I wanted to get you a TypeScript shirt.
Right, that's what I need next. So what does CDK code look like? Let's go ahead and delve into this. So we have DynamoDB, right? If we're going to create a DynamoDB table, you can see it's 5 lines of code to create that. And if we want to add a global secondary index, we can do that too. Over to the left, you see that I have basic free tier and other benefits of using DynamoDB, fully scalable, highly performant, serverless, and of course you get 50 gigabytes for free each month. Who doesn't like free stuff?
I like free stuff.
If it's free, it's for me.
Yeah. Whoa, put that on a sticker. Next up, we have Cognito. As you saw in that slide, this is definitely going to be part of our stack. 50,000 monthly active users each month for free, highly customizable. It's the backbone of a lot of other SaaS applications that build on top of AWS, fully managed. And as you can see within the CDK code, just a couple of lines, but it's so customizable. And I love the fact that you can configure Lambda events.
Yeah.
So once a user signs up, as we'll see in our demo, once again, I'm alluding to it, then you can go ahead and fire off actions and take, for example, put a user inside of a database.
But not like inside the database.
Yeah, they stay at home. Dutch. Next up is going to be AppSync, and this is really the core of this session. How does this all come together when we start building out these applications? Well, if you're unfamiliar, AppSync is a fully managed GraphQL service. It offers the great benefits of having 2 endpoints delivered to users. You get an HTTP endpoint, and that'll facilitate a lot of your CRUD operations, your queries and mutations. But then you also get a WebSocket endpoint. And this is really compelling because now you can get live interactions through a simple mechanism in conjunction with the AWS libraries. Going a little bit deeper into this and some of the benefits, it allows us to build our applications faster. I touched on the real-time experiences. You also get improved performance. With GraphQL, you're only delivering the data that your customers need, as opposed to traditionally maybe a REST endpoint, where you get everything and then you have to parse it out. That bandwidth gets saved.
Yeah, you might have to call like 6 different REST endpoints just to generate one UI.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how this works is that you have your front-end application, AppSync sits in the middle, and then it can directly integrate with a bunch of AWS services. DynamoDB, Amazon Aurora, OpenSearch, Lambda. You can also offload this to an HTTP service, so if something isn't within the AWS ecosystem, we have a direct integration that'll allow you to specify that endpoint and talk directly to it.
That's cool.
Really, really cool.
I hear direct integration, I think I don't have to write code.
Exactly, and who doesn't, I mean, okay, maybe our dear friend Eric Johnson, I'm stealing this quote for him, but the most dangerous code is the code that I have to write.
That's right.
It's like I love direct integrations because they facilitate a lot of that for me. So looking at this sort of in a deeper lens, you have a GraphQL API. This is going to be your schema. And then alongside that, you have your resolvers. Resolvers are going to be that direct integrations. We don't have a server to manage. We don't have to throw everything inside of a Lambda. Now, no shade on Lambda. I'm just used to using the right tool for the right job. From there, we can talk to our data sources. In this case, for the demo, we're going to be using DynamoDB.
Nice.
And if you're unfamiliar with what a schema looks like, well, here's one. It's for a recipe application. And I can define all of the operations that I want. If I want to query information, like getting a recipe, I can do so. Now, what you'll notice is that there's this special directive, this @AWS Cognito user pool. That allows me to let AppSync know, hey, I'm going to have a signed-in user. I need you to enforce that no one else can access this endpoint unless they're signed in. So not only are we directly tied into DynamoDB, but now we're directly tied into Cognito. And again, I don't have to write that code. From here, talking about the resolvers a little bit, this is what it looks like. Now, this is written in JavaScript, but as you'll see, I've written all of my resolvers in TypeScript. And then using Amplify's CodeGen, I can generate all of the types based off of my GraphQL schema. It'll introspect that for me, so that way I can populate it. And in just a moment, we'll see just what that looks like. Here's another example. This is where I am defining my AppSync API, just a few lines of code, and I can get really granular in terms of how do I want to authorize this. what secondary modes of authorization do I want? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Auth's always hard.
Yeah, auth is always hard.
Always.
So let's offload that. I think
Yeah.
it's undifferentiated heavy lifting. Did I just throw that out
we're
there?
just dropping,
You're like,
dropping the lingo here. I love it.
Right, right. So a couple takeaways before we head into the demo. We really want front-end teams to be able to leverage Amplify. Back-end teams, they can develop as they always have. You can have sort of separate applications with a front-end team developing in Next.js, back-end team developing in CDK, or if you have some superhero and they're familiar with both, by all means. The core benefit here is that we have AppSync sitting in the middle as a proxy between that front end and our back end. But from here, I want to go ahead and head back to that slide. So I'm going to head over to my demo. And we're going to see just what it looks like when we have this fully typed application set up. Now, if you're in the audience and you're watching this, I want you to go ahead and scan that QR code. Okay? This is going to be a special treat showcasing the power and the benefit of AppSync subscriptions. So if you want to take part in Developer Innovation Day live, I'll get it out eventually.
You nailed it. You nailed it. You got it.
First try.
and you do want to take part. I mean,
yeah,
it's got to be
yeah.
fun.
Yes.
Then go ahead and hit that QR code. And I think you'll notice that if you press the buttons a couple, can you do that for me?
You got it.
What's going on here? We got some clowns, we got some otters. Those emojis that you're seeing on your screen are actually coming live from all of you in the audience. This is going to be the benefit of AppSync subscriptions here. Let's see if we can get a bunch of tacos. 'Cause I'm actually getting
Oh, you
hungry.
want tacos? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give you tacos.
I live in Austin.
Tacos are my favorite.
Nice,
I live
nice,
in
nice.
Austin, Texas, so that's like,
We're building a
All the
recipe. Out.
tacos.
This
I
is
can get you
amazing.
tacos.
So this is happening live, and the fact that this is a serverless application means that we're scaling quite a bit. Now, talking through this architecture diagram, you can see Cognito in the mix. From there, it's going to be handed off to AppSync. And then we have, whenever a
wild.
user signs up, we have a post confirmation trigger, which is going to be firing off and putting in additional information inside of our user database. Now, we have a product here. The product is going to be recipes. And every time that a user creates a recipe, AppSync is talking directly to DynamoDB. And then for payments, we're integrating with Stripe. Now, we need to listen and talk back to AWS when those Stripe events fire. So when a user signs up for our application, Stripe is going to invoke our Lambda function using the benefit of Lambda function URLs. And that's going to put an item back into our database. Let's go ahead and take a break from the emojis. This is amazing, by the way.
I know.
And
I'm
let's-
captivated.
Yeah, yeah. And see just what this looks like in practice. So here's the application I have set up for us. This is a good size.
Yeah, I think so.
Perfect.
And all this food, the tacos,
I
now there's
know, now
hamburgers
you're-
on
It's
here.
It's
and
almost like I
making me
planned
hungry.
this right before lunch.
This is your micro SaaS thing,
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Michael? Okay.
So this is our micro SaaS application, okay? I'm going to be focusing on one niche. This niche in particular is going to be a way to allow users to create their recipes, update them, delete them, typical CRUD operations, but I want to wrap that. So that way additional benefits can be given depending on what tier you subscribe to. So typical SaaS app, I'll go ahead and give you the rundown. We mentioned beautiful landing pages. This is going to be a mix of both Tailwind CSS and the beauty of Amplify UI components. Stitching those together, I can get this really rich experience where I'm here at my local favorite taco stand, given some of the benefits. If you've signed up for any application before, you've seen this a million times, where you have your sign-up page, your hero, your benefits, and then a little testimonial at the bottom. Let's sign up, because I'm getting hungry.
What is your favorite taco place?
I went to Bodega in Miami just last week, blew me away, and at night, they have a salsa place in the back, because it's Miami, right? So that was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Sounds intimidating. Like, do you have
Oh
to
wait,
dance?
the salsa dance. I thought you
Yeah.
were like I thought you were saying there's a bunch of salsa in the
There's
back.
just a
Like,
bunch of
the
salsa in the back. You can
You're like, what's so weird about that?
take what you want. Take a
So-
salsa, leave a salsa.
Right,
like
right.
That type of situation.
So I'm signing up for this application for the very first time. Okay, this is fully live. So Amplify is going to integrate with Cognito. It's going to give me a confirmation code, and then I can enter that within our app. Looks like today we're going to go with 69. What is that? 4277.
Strong
And
code.
Yeah, strong. Securely sent to my email. But then from here, Stripe is going to kick in. And now I can pick the plans that I want to benefit from. I have a recipe basic and then a recipe pro. I'm going to stick with the basic plan. Looks like I can add images, keep track of my serving sizes, etc. Looks pretty good to me. Over on the typical Stripe checkout page, I'm going to enter in my fake credit card information live for everybody. There we go. 424, if you worked with Stripe before, then you already know. And then let's just throw in some random Seattle location there. Great. Now at this point, I've signed up for my application. If I head over to Cognito and give this a refresh, you see that I'm actually logged in. Cognito is aware of me. And then if I head over to my DynamoDB user table, you can see that I'm on the recipe basic plan. Let's get to the edit screen. I'm on the recipe basic plan. I'm currently trialing.
Yeah.
And then I have additional items here given from Stripe. And that's the benefit of having a user table in addition to Cognito and using the value of Lambda webhooks and Lambda function URLs that we can tie all of this together seamlessly for us. Let's head back to the application though. I'm signed in, so let me just give this a quick refresh. You can see that I have additional stuff here, right? I have my recipes, create a recipe. If I look at my recipes currently, I don't have anything. I think we should change that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Michael, that primary key in DynamoDB, that's just the Cognito user ID, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Yeah,
So-
good call out.
So you get that from Cognito, and
Definitely.
then you can easily look up as people log in. You get their information from Cognito, and you can do a lookup in Dynamo.
That's absolutely right.
Okay, cool.
So you get
Just
to-
want to make sure I understood.
Oh, no, yeah, doing great. Then we also have the Stripe customer ID, and this is given to us from Stripe.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So that way, from Stripe, I have a way to find the user in Dynamo, but then in my application, I have a way to find the user from Stripe.
Go make REST calls to
There you
Stripe.
go.
Okay, cool.
All right, so from here, I want to add in a recipe. Now, this is really the beauty of the Amplify UI components. We have a way for our front-end application to tie in directly to S3 using the new file manager. Now, this is generally available,
Nice.
so I would encourage everyone to check this out. But let's add in a taco recipe that I have right here. Yeah, we're gonna keep going. I know.
Farrah, do you want to go?
Head out real quick.
I can go and get you a taco, Farrah.
Mid-session, we'll just take a break.
Yeah, I'll go.
So we have our taco uploaded here, and when it says uploaded successfully, it doesn't mean that it was uploaded locally. This is already in my S3 bucket.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So I'm using the key of this image, in this case, devday tacos minified. Then I'm taking that, and I'm going to assign that on my AppSync schema. So now my API has a way to reference this image from S3.
Okay.
Heading down a little bit, let's say that the title, this is going to be Developer Innovation Day Tacos. Amazing. Carne asada. There's 3 of us here, right? So let's do 3 servings, even though I guarantee I could probably eat all of them.
You can have mine. I don't eat meat.
Oh, okay, okay.
But you can have mine. Or I'll just.
I was gonna say tacos, but we can have like, vegetarian tacos.
Yeah, get some veggies on there. I'm in.
Let's throw in some ingredients, and then we'll throw in some steps to make this, and I think we'll be off to the races. So I have this set up. When I click submit, what's important here is that this data is going to be sent off to AppSync. AppSync is directly integrating with DynamoDB, and then I get a success message back. Once I click on submit, assuming everything goes well, we get confetti, and then
nice.
everything is working out great.
So no put item there that you had to write.
No.
AppSync's making that put item into Dynamo.
Absolutely. There's
Okay.
no Lambda configuration code. To specify a little bit, in those resolvers, I'm telling AppSync this is how I want to directly integrate with DynamoDB.
Interesting.
So there is code there. It's literally an object, as we'll see in just a moment.
Okay.
But it's great. And then through the benefits of type safety, I can make sure that it's applying the right fields.
Oh, nice. Nice.
If I click on my recipes, just to bring this full circle, there you go. It's pulling that from S3. It has the title, it has the description, and then it's a new recipe for the demo. Yeah. I do want to showcase some of the code for folks interested. Now, I brought up the fact that this is written in TypeScript, and this is the create recipe resolver that you just saw. I'm going to bring this up maybe one more. Through the beauty of AppSync's utils, I now have a way to provide type safety for AppSync's Cognito integration. So now it knows that there's an identity and a sub on this Cognito object. In addition, I also have, as you just mentioned, that DynamoDB put item requests.
Nice.
And that's what's giving me sort of all of the benefits here. If I come into my application and I say like something of type string, you see it's already sort of complaining at me. Right?
That's the beauty of TypeScript.
Yeah, and then here you can see the beauty of Amazon Code Whisperer at work.
Oh.
Ooh.
And it just allows me to really expedite how I develop my applications.
Did you just give us a twofer?
I mean, you know, I'm
He
just.
did. He did.
Yeah.
2 for 1
It's,
right there?
it's my first day. I don't know what I'm doing. So we have that going on. And then as far as how do we turn this TypeScript code into something that AppSync can understand? Well, easy enough. I'm just using ESBuild, which a lot of developers are already familiar with. I can say, hey, this is how I want to develop my application, build out my TypeScript code into JavaScript, and then I'll provide that to AppSync. So from here, I think we've done a pretty good job of showcasing the benefits of AppSync. That was the demo, and that's what we have going on.
Let me ask you, Michael, you mentioned sub on that user, right?
Yeah.
Is that the WebSocket that you were talking about earlier in AppSync? Is sub short for subscription, or is it something different?
Sub is the key.
Oh,
used
the
by,
key.
Yeah.
I see.
So
I see.
as in a Cognito sub.
Oh, got
Yeah.
it. I totally got lost there.
No,
for a
you're
minute. Okay,
absolutely right,
cool.
because we're subscribing to data. I think we should probably, is this thing still going? Yeah, we're subscribing to data. So to bring up the architecture diagram, we have users that listen into our application, but when you saw the confetti come down,
Yeah.
that was because I was subscribing to when a success message happened.
Got it. Got it. Actually, chat says sub means Subway sandwich.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We're shifting from tacos to sandwiches now.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. Sub is that unique UUID at Cognito. I get it now.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Sorry. Sorry.
No, it's
Following
all
you
good.
there.
It's all good.
But it
Looks
does
like-
mean Subway sandwich.
Looks like the audience is hungry too, because we have a bunch of tacos coming in right now. I should have put in a sandwich. My bad.
And a hamburger, because that was on the front page. Of
Oh,
the app.
right. We're just running the buffet today.
I was going to ask if there was a menu, hamburger menu. You know.
I think for next time. Join us next time.
Make it
We'll
a
have the
menu.
menu. Yeah.
Michael, I wanted to ask you, since we've got a little bit of time, for those of us, I'm somewhat familiar with Next.js. I think it's built on top of React.
Absolutely.
Is that true? Why would I pick Next.js over just like go into React and then finding all? Next brings us a bunch of stuff, right?
It does.
Okay. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely, absolutely. Not only is Next.js sort of the front leader in terms of React application development these days, you also get a great community because it embodies the React community on top of their benefits. So you get things like API routes. I don't have to manually create those. Again, we're not fans of me manually creating stuff.
No.
I can have Next.js and their app directories, app folders. They have a new app router that came out. I can take benefits from that. I also get the ability to inject my code directly into the HTML body using things like meta tags. They have a meta component that you can dial into. So it really is meant to be sort of your production-grade application. And then now, on the React.js site, it actually is the framework that they recommend the most.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, that was my very naive understanding. It came bundled with a bunch of stuff that if you were building just regular React, you'd have to go out and go find, like a router, right? Like React
Exactly,
router and things
exactly.
like that.
It comes with opinions, but those opinions, as we know at AWS, come with a lot of benefits.
For sure, for
And
sure.
what other different data sources can AppSync work with?
Yeah, for sure. So I have customers that perhaps they have existing data that is living in one of our partner databases like MongoDB. You can actually bring in that data through the use of the Lambda direct integration and then tie in and access your data that way. Or you can follow me online, and I have a blog post that shows how you can use the HTTP direct integration to use MongoDB's data API to connect with it that way. Yeah, so now you get zero latency in between because your API is going directly to the database.
So follow Michael to find that post and
Yeah.
figure more out about that.
And follow Michael just because, too, because he's amazing.
If you like tacos.
Yeah,
and,
clearly.
and AWS.
You crave that taco content, it sounds like Michael's going to deliver. So, any last suggestions for getting started for our audience? Anywhere to
Yeah.
go?
So I do have if you follow me anywhere online, I go by Focus Otter, all one word. Follow me online. I have a free course that gets front-end developers in particular started with the AWS CDK. So if you enjoyed full-stack application development, I'll go ahead and throw out a link on all of my socials just to remind folks of where it's at. But yeah, that's what we have today.
Well, you're an incredible human. Thank you for being with us today,
Thank
Michael.
you.
I appreciate it.
That was awesome.
What-
Made us all hungry.
It's great.
Right.
Right?